So, these were the various models. The question is going to be how to do this back conversion, how to do this particular conversion. Those are the two things that we are going to talk about. We also talked about the input output models, or say ARCs or RMAX models, and those were of the form yk is summation ai y k minus I plus summation bi u k minus I, okay, I equal to 1 to n, I equal to 1 to m. Okay. We had also talked about how we can go from this model to this model, right. You just take a Z transform of this. So, when you take Z transform of this, on the left hand side you just get yz, on the right hand side you will get a1 multiplied by Z inverse yz plus a2 multiplied by Z to the power minus 2 plus a3 multiplied by Z to the power minus 3 and so on. Likewise, b1 multiplied by Z to the power minus 1, b2 multiplied by Z to the power minus 2, so on and so forth. Okay. That is what you would get if you have an input output model. We talked about that last time. Okay. And then finite impulse response, and again I am only taking finite impulse response for convenience sake. You can also talk about finite step response instead, and finite impulse response was yk is summation hi u k minus I. Okay. We had talked about how to go from Z transform type of models, or from this type of a model, or from this type of a model to FIR. We have this in your assignment 2. So, the assignment that you just submitted, you have done that. Okay. So, yeah, so that conversion we are not going to talk about. We will talk about what is the relation between them. For example, FIR model you could say is a special case of input output model. Okay. FIR models are also input output models, they are a special type of input output models, and those are called convolution models. Okay. They do not have an autoregressive component. Okay. This is the autoregressive component, in case I do not remember if I had not mentioned it or anything like that. This part, the underlying part, is the autoregressive part in IO type of input output models. Okay. So, yeah, so let us just take this FIR and IO and kind of try to correlate between the two. This particular part, how to go from continuous to discrete, I hope I will be able to cover it today. If not, I will cover it in tomorrow's lecture. Okay. So, let us see how it goes. Okay. So, let us consider an equation of this type, right. Yk equal to this is an example of an input output model. Okay. So, let us take a Z transform of this. What is that going to do? We are going to get yz equal to Z inverse yz plus Z inverse uz, okay, or 1 minus Z inverse times yz is Z inverse uz. You divide this onto the right hand side, you are going to get 1 minus Z inverse. I mean, that is integral. You can have another coefficient, so that would be integral with that. So, alpha integral f would be alpha by s. If you have that alpha, that alpha will be in front of. If you have an alpha like this, that alpha will come over here. Okay. So, this guy being equal to 1 determines that this is an integral. The presence of alpha over there is equivalent to 2 divided by s type of a thing. Yeah, I do not know if that exactly was the question. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, an integral in continuous time is this, an integral in discrete time is 1 divided by z minus 1. Okay. I prefer to write it in this form, z inverse divided by 1 minus z inverse. Okay. Important to keep in mind, this is not a direct conversion from 1 by s to z. Okay. This is you are using 0 order hold followed by an integral system followed by sampling. That entire thing is going to be converted in this manner, okay, not without the 0 order hold. Okay. Yeah. So, this is what the integral is going to look like. Let us take another example. Okay. Can you convert this to an FIR model? Starting with, you start with y0 equal to 0, you can either give a step response or you can give a unit impulse response. This is what we have. Okay. Time at time 0, time 1, time 2, time 3, time 4. What does finite impulse response means? It is a response to a unit impulse. What is unit impulse? u0 is 1, u1 onwards everything is 0. Okay. What does uk or what does u0 equal to 0 means? It means, it means u equal to 1 for 0 less than or equal to kh less than 1, okay, and equal to 0 for 1 less than and equal to kh. Sorry, oops. My mistake. Yeah. So, when t is between kh to k plus h, kh included, k plus 1 h not included. Okay. There is a less than and equal to sign over here, there is a less than sign over there. Okay. This is what you get. Okay. So, what is y1? y1 is 0.5 multiplied by y0 plus u0 which is 1, right. So, y1 is 1. What is y2? y2 is 0.5 multiplied by y1 which is 0.5 plus 0 which is 0.5. What is the next item? Is 0.5 multiplied by 0.5, it is 0.25 plus 0. Then it is 0.125, 0.0625, so on and so forth. Okay. So, from this you can get your FIR model. Okay. Your FIR model, your impulse response coefficients are 1, 0.5, 0.25, 0.125, 0.0625, so on and so forth. These are your impulse response coefficients. So, your impulse response model is nothing but y k equal to u k minus 1 plus 0.5 u k minus 2 plus 0.25 u k minus 3 plus 0.125 u k minus 4, so on and so forth. This is your FIR model. This is your IO model. I hope you are able to convert the IO model into Z transform, right. Take the Z transform, you will get YZ equal to 0.5 Z inverse plus 1 multiplied by Z inverse UZ. Take that on the other side, divide, you are going to get Z inverse divided by 1 minus 0.5 Z inverse, that is your transfer function. Okay. So, all these conversions we have done from input output models to FIR model, from input output model to transfer function model. Okay. And hopefully now you will see why we actually might prefer to use a model like an input output model, or for that matter a state space model compared to FIR model. Look at the number of FIR coefficients that we will need. We'll probably need 10 to 12 FIR coefficients. On the other hand, we required only 2 coefficients when it came to input output models. What are the 2 coefficients? 0.5 is one coefficient and 1 is the other coefficient. Okay, although I have not written that 1 is implicitly assumed. Okay. So, just 2 coefficients against 10 to 12 coefficients. So, as I had said, the GZ over there is nothing but Z inverse divided by 1 minus 0.5 Z inverse. Okay. Let us have a little bit of a fun. Let us multiply this with 1 plus 0.5 Z inverse plus 0.5 Z inverse squared plus so on up to 0.5 Z inverse to the power n and the same guy. What do you get? What do you get in the denominator? What is this equal to? Right? What is A over here? 0.5 Z inverse. Okay. So, the denominator is 1 minus 0.5 to the power n plus 1 Z to the power minus n plus 1. Okay. If we choose the n large enough, this becomes 0. Okay. So, if n is large enough, then denominator is 1. So, Gz, which is Yz divided by Uz, can be equivalently be written as 1 plus 0.5 Z inverse plus 0.5 squared Z to the power minus 2 plus 0.5 cubed Z to the power minus 3 and so on. Okay. And then there was this initial Z inverse also over here. So, we will change this to Z inverse minus 2 minus 3 minus 4 and so on. Okay. Let us multiply u z over here. Let us take inverse Z transform. What you are going to get? You are going to get y k is u k minus 1 plus 0.5 u k minus 2 right. Can you see where I am going? What did we do about 10 minutes back? This is exactly what we did 10 minutes back, right. Y k is u k minus 1 plus 0.5 u k minus 2 plus 0.25 u k minus 3 plus 0.125 u k minus 4, which is exactly what we are getting over here. Okay. So, the same thing we have done it in two different ways. Okay. The intent over here is not to tell you to do it this way, do not do it this way. An easier procedure is what we did 10 minutes back. Okay. Do not do it this way, this is just a a more convoluted procedure for doing that. But all I wanted to tell you is to go from one type of a model to another type of a model. There is not one way to do it, there are multiple ways to do it. That is one thing. Second is the interpretation of FIR models in the context of input output. Okay. Input output is a much more compact, much more parsimonious way of representing an overall system. The numerator is also an approximate. You are assuming that you are truncating at n. In reality, it will only asymptotically reach 0. It will be very, very small, right. What is 0.5 to the power 50? It is still not 0. 0.5 to the power 200, it is still not 0. Okay. So, what we are doing is still approximate with FIR. So, FIR models are still approximate. So, do not assume that the FIR models are accurate. It works because feedback is a correction that you do each and every time, and you correct for these errors as well. Okay. And it is always it is a design decision where to truncate the FIR or FSR models. You truncate it too late, you are going to have a very large dimensional model which is not really required. If you truncate it too early, performance takes a hit. Okay. So, yes, it is a good question. So, again, for those of you who did not hear, the question was, in the denominator we ignored this term, we are still getting the exact same result. Why? The reason why we are getting the exact same result, because same thing we ignored in the numerator also by chopping off rest of the terms. So, although we do not explicitly think about the approximation that goes into FIR, I mean that is the reason why it works. So, yeah, relation between IO and FIR done, a conversion from FIR to transfer function models done. So, two more things left, from transfer function models to state space and from continuous time to discrete time.